Today on the TMZ Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the TMZ Podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton and today I'm joined by fan favorite Nikki Hendry.
Yes. Happy Monday, Charlie.
Happy Monday. Best day of the week.
Did you have a good weekend?
Very good weekend. Went to 2 toddler birthday parties. So
That sounds like not a fun weekend. Was it fun though?
I need another weekend to
Yeah, you need a weekend to have you.
Yeah.
You need a weekend for you.
Did you have a good weekend?
I did, yeah. I just got a new camera because I do food photography on the side. So I was playing around with that thing all weekend. It was nice.
That hangry
girl. Check her out.
That's fantastic. You also had your work cut out for you over the weekend because as we've discussed on the podcast, your main job here is clips and clearance. So you buy
Photos and videos.
From the outside world.
And the inside world, the paparazzi agencies as well.
And stick them on the website. What amazing videos we put up over the weekend. Give ourselves a pat on the back. Jamie Foxx was sighted in Chicago. Madonna was sighted in New York. Both of them coming off sort of mystery sort of illnesses.
The way you're saying is just really funny.
Larry Nassar. We're also going to talk about Larry Nassar. He was just yesterday on Sunday. He was stabbed in a Florida prison. And finally, we're going to discuss Jonah Hill. What's going on there with all the text messages coming out from his ex?
That one's juicy.
It's juicy. It's a juicy story to stick your fangs into, Nikki.
Yes.
But firstly, Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
It's been 3 months
Yeah.
since he mysteriously fell ill, went to hospital for ages, has been in rehab. It's our first sighting of him. We still don't know really exactly what happened, but we saw him in Chicago on a boat. Can you tell me more?
Yeah, so let's take a look at this video or at least hear it. You can hear the excitement of the people on the other boat when they see him, and that just goes to show how big of a moment this is.
Right, let's have a listen.
It's our birthday!
Like, how cool is that? You have people on the other boat like vibing out and being like, it's my birthday, it's her birthday. And I'm pretty sure that from our video, I mean, I know this is a podcast and you can't really, see it at the moment, but you can hear him. He kind of looks like he's saying happy birthday, or at least trying to say happy birthday to her. He waves. He looks very healthy, to be honest. Like, just looking at him, I'm like, wow, okay. He was just, in rehab for 3 months and, had that, accident that we still don't know many details about, but we know he had some health issue that was happening for 3 months. So after months of speculation about his condition and things like that, people, saying he's not going to walk again or he can't do this or he can't do that, we see him and he's fine.
Look, I mean,
he's fine.
I wouldn't go so far as you. I don't think that, he's fine based on this video because, he's sat down. He only raises one arm.
He's on a boat, Jamie. If you're not doing well, you're not going to be on the boat in the middle of the Chicago River.
But can't you be sort of like wheelchaired onto a boat and then just sit there? Like, it's not like he sort of like was prancing around, like playing a game of pickup basketball. You know what I mean?
I can meet you there, but also
Okay.
you're not going on a boat if you're in rehab and trying to come back from an injury or something. What happens if you slip on something on the
True.
deck?
What happens if it's rocky out there?
Exactly. You never know what's going to happen on a boat. So I think that if he wasn't in this good of a condition as he is to feel comfortable enough to go out on a boat, to actually show his face to people who have been speculating that he's not going to be doing well, I think this goes to show that he's on the mend for the better.
Oh, it's definitely a good sign because, he's out there enjoying his life.
Yes.
It looks like he's with his daughters on the boat.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, they were sitting in the front. And we know that because, when we were covering the Chicago, when he got transferred to Chicago, we had paparazzi agencies giving us photos of his family down there. And so we know what his family looks like now. We know who, that he surrounds himself with, and it's his daughters. So
He's really is on the mend. We can, rest assured that this isn't life and death anymore because, as we say, it's been 3 months. For at least 1 or 2 of the months, we all thought like maybe Jamie's not going to make it.
Because that's what we kept hearing, right? And then his one of his daughters went on Instagram and said he was playing pickleball, and everyone was like, "What?" Like, no, like we were talking to our sources, and like there was just so many people who were out of the loop because he was just keeping it with his close family, which I commend him for that. Not everyone needs to know his business, especially when you're going through something which seemed as life and death as it was with Jamie Foxx. But I'll meet you at the point of when you said, looking at him, he only raises one arm. He's not moving both arms, like you said. He's not partying. He's not moving around a lot. So maybe he is just out there to show his face, and we know that he's doing better, but we don't know the specifics of exactly what it is that.
I just think a boat trip on the Chicago River is a good way for someone who's not very mobile to sort of like get some fresh air. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I feel you. But what about Madonna? Let's talk about Madonna.
Well, Madonna, another sort of mystery illness. I don't know why these guys keep it so under wraps when,
because it ain't none of our business.
I mean,
it ain't our business,
they
Charlie.
belong to us.
No, they do not. They are their
belong
own
to us.
people with real emotions and going through real life crap. Like we don't care. Like it don't matter to us.
But Jamie Foxx is like America's sweetheart.
And so is Madonna.
England's sweetheart.
Yeah.
But
Derek's sweetheart from The Office, he was almost devastated when she got the bacterial infection, and he thought she died over that weekend that we posted that initial story.
Oh, I'll be more sensitive when I'm talking to Derek
Yes,
about
please. But anyway, so Madonna was seen out and about in walking and talking around New York City. It was clearly ready to show, that she's doing better, But I will say that it was a TikTok video posted by a lady, a podcaster, a lady who was walking around New York. She was like, "Oh my gosh, you'll never believe who we saw walking," and it was a series of photos of Madonna. Something I noticed in those photos though is that she's always leaning up against something. She was leaning up against like the pole when she's getting ready to cross the street. There was like another like big box, like a utility box or something on the street that she was also leaning up against. So maybe she was winded. You know what I mean? We didn't see video of her walking, but like I can only assume she was walking, at a not a
Fast
running pace. Yeah.
It's just incredible to see these two massive stars out and about, seemingly recovering from whatever ailed them that sent them both to hospital. And it was just such a shock when we learnt that both of these two were in hospital. So it's really good that these guys have the energy and ability to go out like this. Yeah, I don't think it necessarily means that either is sort of like out of the woods and they're back and they're going to work again. See, her tour is still off.
Right. And I mean, going back to Jamie Foxx, there's, he has a Fox show coming out with his daughter. We haven't seen anything about when that is going to come out. So I feel like there's still a while to go before they are healthy enough to, do their commitments that they've committed to.
I think it'll be interesting to learn what does a Fox say. Because when did you get that?
Got it.
What does
loud and clear. Yep.
We need to hear him speak. I want to hear from the man himself. I want to hear him tell us, what I know we've got a different opinion about if we're owed an explanation or not. But I just think, 3 months away, you're a very public person. You know how much, the world cares for you. And I'm talking about Jamie, but I could just as well be talking about Madonna.
All right.
I feel like just let us know. Like, it's not like something that's going to come back to bite you in the butt. I mean,
all right. I mean, I guess we could just put a pin in it and be like, you know what, Jamie, Madonna, your move.
Your move.
Charlie Cotton's waiting for your move.
Yeah, we're waiting. I mean, you belong.
We want to know if they're doing better, and these are signs that they are.
It's good signs. Good. It'll be interesting to hear them both talk about their stuff and see their recovery. But it's a bit of a sort of moment where these guys we're slowly getting them back.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
On to our next story. Larry Nassar. He was the U.S. gymnast coach who was convicted of sexually abusing hundreds and hundreds of girls.
Yeah.
And now he's got, the rest of his life in prison. Well, it just came out that over the weekend he was stabbed in a Florida prison in the back and the chest. He's currently in a stable condition. But wow, I mean, how does something like this happen to such a high-profile inmate? He didn't die, but it's still like quite shocking when someone gets shanked in a prison, and especially when they're of this caliber. He's a disgusting individual, but I would have thought that you'd be able to keep such a sort of high-profile inmate safe.
Yeah, and reportedly this was because he was involved in an altercation with another inmate. So like the details surrounding this incident are very minimal. I mean, all they said was that the altercation happened. It was life-saving measures. He was actually transported to a local hospital for his injuries. So, I mean, that's all we know right now. And like you said, sometimes this stuff happens with people who are so high profile, they go into jail and bad things happen to them because of the bad things they did on the outside.
But I would have thought that someone like Larry Nassar, you'd put him in solitary, or you'd put him in somewhere with all like the placid sort of. You wouldn't put him in there with the mean murderers, would you?
I think he's in general population though.
So they're not giving him any sort of special.
I don't think so. No,
because he's such a jerk.
Yeah, I don't know. I truly don't know, but I do know that he he was transferred. So I guess back in 2018, his attorney said that he was
Yes.
assaulted hours after he was released into general population. And so that incident led to his transfer to the United States Penitentiary Coleman. It says no other staff members or other inmates were injured in this incident. So I think it was just an altercation between two inmates there. And one of them was him, and he got the, short end of the stick, if you will.
Wow, literally.
Literally.
A sharp's end of the stick.
Yes, a not good one. So no further details that we have, though, at this time.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, on to our final story, but I mean, potentially our juiciest. I don't know if you were following this over the weekend, but Jonah Hill is in a messy situation with his ex, Sarah Brady.
Okay.
Not from that family or that show.
Okay.
It's a different Brady. She is a surf instructor, and they were in a 1-year relationship back in 2021, and apparently it didn't end that well because she's now putting up all of these screenshots of text messages he sent her, and she sent him back, and basically claiming he's a misogynistic narcissist. What do you think about all this? Do you want to read the number one, the biggest message she put up?
Yeah, is it this one?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So she said, plain and simple, if you need...
No, this is him to her.
Oh, plain and simple. Got it. Yes, him to her. Sorry, read the wrong
These are the
text.
boundaries he's setting for their relationship.
If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places from your wild recent past, beyond getting a lunch or coffee, I'm not the right partner for you. If these things need to bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. But these are my boundaries for a romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust.
So there is a lot of division over whether or not Jonah Hill is a misogynistic narcissist, or if Sarah Brady is kind of emotionally abusing Jonah Hill right now by putting out these old screenshots and leaking this private text messages.
So usually I'm very pro-female. I'm a feminist.
Okay.
However, Jonah Hill just recently welcomed a child with his fiance back in June. So literally a month ago. This triggered something in Sarah. There was something about it that maybe, this is something she wanted with him, a kid, a marriage, those kinds of things. And because some other girl is getting it, she's feeling that, right? This breakup happened in 2022.
Yeah, recently.
2022, that's like almost a year ago. These text messages are from 2021. So her bringing up all of this old baggage, it means she's not over it. So this text message to me, it is a little bit of misogynistic of like, hey, you can't do this, this, and this. It's kind of what we just saw last week with Keke Palmer and her boyfriend, baby daddy, of putting rules on women and like thinking they're kind of like property in a sense. But I'm gonna side with Jonah on this one. I think that he stood up for himself and what he wanted in a relationship, and that wasn't okay with her. Hence why they're not together. But I think that Sarah was triggered by the first child and the fiance that Jonah now has.
I think potentially you're right. Look, from Sarah's side, she says that the reason she's putting these text messages up now is because she wanted to wait until the end of the pregnancy so she wouldn't sort of like stress the pregnant lady or the child inside. You know what I mean? She's claiming that's why she waited till this point. But I'm of, kind of the same opinion as you, which is just like, what is her motive for exposing him?
Right. It's
what are you trying to... Are you trying to make a big point about men? Or it looks like you're trying to kind of like embarrass Jonah Hill. I didn't think these text messages were that bad because before this message that you just read out, she had kind of asked him for clarity about, well, what do you want out of me from this relationship? So this is him replying to her saying, these are my boundaries. And to be honest... maybe it stems out of somewhat insecurity, but I wouldn't want my girlfriend posting bunches of sexy sort of stuff and hanging out with other. Personally, I just wouldn't like that for me in my relationship. It's okay if you do, but for me in my relationship, I don't like it. So I can kind of understand Jonah Hill saying, for me in my relationship, I just don't like this.
Now, I know that she's claiming that he was emotionally abusive to her, so I don't want to completely dismiss that if that's how she felt. However, the evidence that she is showing is that, she's saying he would gaslight her or manipulate her into removing photos of herself surfing in a swimsuit. and to play devil's advocate, Jonah Hill knew what he was getting into when he was with her, right? He knew that she was already a surfer. She's a very well-established surfer. She has a lot of males, especially I do believe there's somewhere in Malibu is where she lives. So she's surfing with a bunch of males. So he knew what he was getting into when he got into this relationship. So if he was okay with it in the beginning and then, you know what I mean? That's how you got her. That's probably why you were attracted to her, because you guys share a common thing. Because I know Jonah Hill surfs too. So if you're going to be that insecure around someone like that when you already know, this isn't something new that popped up, right? It's not all of a sudden she gets with Jonah Hill and now she's hanging out with men. Like, she already had been. So I feel her on that, where she feels like she was getting manipulated or gaslit to not be her true authentic self. And if she feels like that was emotionally abusive to her, then I don't want to dismiss that. However, I don't get it of why it's coming out so late.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get at the time screenshotting all of these messages, almost like at the time she was planning, like, okay, I'm going to keep some dirt. I'm going to keep some dirt. It almost feels like, she's not a celebrity.
No.
She's a surf instructor.
Yeah.
And so she was dating this celebrity. And so it's sort of like having a tape recorder on at all times in case anything happens. And then I gotcha. And I don't think what she released is so horrendous that, it's like cancel Jonah Hill, misogynist. She's like, even this Sarah Brady said, look, I hope your new baby's a girl so that you can learn that this, that, the other. She really like hates him. And I feel there's a little bit of merit to what she's saying about you can't tell a woman how to dress, obviously, that sort of stuff. But you can tell, you can say what your boundaries are for a partner in a relationship, and if you don't like it, then that's fine, and we can be friends.
And clearly that's what happened, right? And she went on. There's a few more other things, where she said she struggled with mental health, but she didn't use it to control people like he did to her. So I think there's a lot of layers to the relationship that she had with him for a year. And like you said, there's a difference of he was a celebrity and she really wasn't, right? She was dating, a celebrity. So there comes with a lot of entitlements too that Jonah Hill's probably used to. That she was like, what? I'm not, she's not informed on that because she's not in that world. So it was probably a lot for her to handle as well. And to be honestly told in a relationship, girls get told all the time, like, you lose yourself, you become part of the guy, like you're always doing stuff with him. And it's like, this is part of it. She didn't want to lose her true self or her true identity and felt that he was emotionally abusive to her. So, I mean, I guess it'll see, because she has not stopped. I mean, all day yesterday, she was still ranting and raving. So, I mean, this is only going to probably die down because Jonah hasn't even addressed it or even given 2 cents. And I don't blame him.
He's got a month-old baby.
His priorities have now shifted to
imagine
his
being
fiance.
Jonah Hill right now, like sleep-deprived Jonah Hill, screaming baby, his smelly poo-poo, and then these text messages come out. You're like, oh no.
You would know about that world. I don't.
Oh no. Yeah. Have you heard that Shakespeare quote? Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
It is the truth, and I'm a woman, and trust me, don't double-cross me.
Noted. All right, Nikki, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll catch you here back on the pod tomorrow.
Yes, have a good one.